What is good, everybody? Welcome back to another video here at desireLess. I am KJ Howard, here to give you guys game, how to elevate, dominate, and truly unlock your full potential. And we got a special one for you guys today, man. So we're gonna talk about how to get bigger this off season, how to really get the gains, you gain 20 pounds that you need of muscle. So we're gonna dive into that today and give you the gems and the secrets to how to do it. But before we get to this video, subscribe to the channel and check out other videos that we have. Show love to us. Also, if you're looking to get more information outside of just our video content, we have an email list that we give exclusive tips to athletes to dominate the game and get offers. So you check that out. We're always sending those out daily. And also, if you're interested, cop the desireLess merch. Link to that is also in the description down below. But let's get into the video. So I know a lot of you guys are looking, man, like, how am I going to gain this weight this off season? My coach told me that I'm a linebacker, but I'm 190 pounds, 180 pounds, 100 pounds, but I need to gain 50 pounds in 2 weeks or this and that. I know a lot of you guys are struggling with gaining weight, or not even struggling, but just don't know how to properly gain the weight. I've been in your footsteps as a young guy was trying to find what information works. So here's what I found that would help really get you the weight that you need to gain. And also, this is a disclaimer. Some positions don't need to gain weight. If you're a receiver, DB, say even a running back, depending on what your play style is. If you're a power back, then that's different. But certain skill positions, a lot of coaches say gain weight because that's just their general advice that they give to every athlete. I see a lot of DBs or receivers like, man, I need to gain weight. Okay, what cool? You need to gain like, what, 4 or 5 pounds? No, I need to gain 50. Like, man, you gonna be a damn meatball out there, bro. You gonna be like Debo Samuels, but you're not Debo Samuels' skill. It's gonna be even worse. You know, shout out to Debo Samuels. I love Debo Samuels, man. I think he's a phenomenal receiver, but obviously he's built like a freaking running back. Like, unless you're a guy who's super small, like you're really like, you need to gain weight. You don't need to, man. A lot of these guys are in the league, receivers, DB, they're still weighing 190 pounds, 180 pounds, and these are grown-ass men. So you being a 16-year-old or a teenager in high school thinking you need to be 220 as a DB or receiver, no. So that's a disclaimer. Some of you guys don't need to, but for the guys that do, the guys who are in the trenches, the guys who are really banging and they really need to gain that weight, let's go, man. I'm gonna get into this, man. So first, let's talk about why you may not gain weight or why it's harder to gain weight. A lot of times you see a lot of athletes who have different metabolic rates. What I mean by that is that your metabolism, how many calories does your body need to operate? Some are lower, some are higher. And a lot of times, especially as a younger athlete, there's a lot of guys who have high metabolism. So when you're eating less than that metabolic rate of how many calories your body burns just naturally just living, not even doing nothing, it's gonna be really hard to gain weight. A lot of guys are just not consistent enough when they're eating. Yeah, they might eat good for 1 day or 2 days, but when it comes to the weekend, bro, they eat a bag of hot Cheetos, some pancakes, and call it a day. Or they don't eat at all, they play Call of Duty all day and don't do nothing. If you're not being consistent, you're never gonna gain the weight, or you're never gonna lose the weight you need. It's just not how it works. If you are a guy who is a hard gainer and has a fast metabolism, you're gonna have to be consistent. Consistency is so important to achieving any goal. These are little reasons why you're probably not gaining weight in the first place. You have to eat. You have to eat a lot. You know, you guys are not eating enough if you're not at the weight you're supposed to be. If you want to be a guy who gains 20 pounds of muscle, gains 30 pounds of muscle, you're going to have to eat more. You're going to have to eat food throughout the day. Even when you first start, yes, it's going to feel like you're full. Yes, it's going to feel like this and that. But understand that you're going to have to eat this food to really be able to gain the weight. If you want to gain a pound a week, you have to eat 500 calories or more each day to gain the weight, because it takes 3,500 calories in a week to gain 1 pound a week. If you're a D lineman, O lineman, even a linebacker, really D line, O lineman, aim for that 1 to 2 pounds per week. But if you're a linebacker or somebody who's more of like a lighter frame and obviously you're not a big guy, then I suggest eating about 250 calories surplus than what you normally do. And the reason for that is the faster you gain weight, the fatter you're gonna gain. Like, you don't gain, muscle doesn't just happen overnight. When you're like, man, I'm gaining all this weight, man, I gained 5 pounds in 2 days. No, you gain 5 pounds of fat or water weight. It's one of those two. It's not really muscle. And the thing is, you want to gain muscle because you want to get stronger. Not only do you want to be able to have the size, but you want to be able to have the strength to really withstand the collisions that are going on in there. So I advise for either half a pound to a pound to really gain muscle. Now, with this, it's going to take a little longer. Yes, you're not going to gain 30 pounds in 2 weeks, but if you start now in the off season, say you start in January, February, about the time August comes around, and you're eating in that 250 to 300 calorie surplus each day, then you're going to be able to gain muscle, 15 pounds of muscle. Because at that point, you're getting half a pound a week. Let's say there's 30 weeks into the season. Half a pound a week, you're going to gain 30 pounds of muscle. And you're not even going to look at your body and be like, man, like, I can't even tell. I mean, obviously you're going to tell because you're going to be looking big, but you're not going to look like fat. You ever seen those guys who be like, man, I'm bulking? Bro, don't. That dirty bulk stuff just doesn't work, bro. You're just going to get fat. This is what happens. You're going to gain weight, you're going to get fat. Oh, I don't like how I look. I'm moving slow. Then lose the weight, and you're just going to lose the fat, but you're going to still be at the same muscle that you were at before. Like, you might have gained 1 pound of muscle. So, like, why even go through that journey of getting fat and being slow and doing all that and being susceptible to injuries? That's another thing why you don't want to gain weight too fast, because you get susceptible to injury. So the important thing is you have to eat in a caloric surplus to gain weight. There is no lift that you can can do that's gonna magically put you on size if you're not eating the food you need to eat. You can be doing 10,000 curls a day, 20,000 push-ups. If you're still eating below your metabolic rate, then you're not gonna gain weight. You have to be in a surplus. So understand, put that in your mind. I have to eat more. So my body burns 2,000 calories a day. I gotta eat 2,250 calories a day or 2,500 calories a day to gain that half a pound to a pound a week, every day, consistently. Dude, you're not thinking like, man, like, how do I be efficient? How do I track the calories? How do I know if I'm eating 250 to 500 calories a day? Either you can be a guy who does it the most efficient way, which I think it is, tracking your calories, and you can do that easily on like an app like MyFitnessPal, where you go in there, track your calories, whatever you eat, everything, because like it's an app that sets up that you can scan labels or you do or type in a food and it pulls up all the calories, all the macros, and you put that in. So now you're tracking your food. When you track your food, you're more aligned to staying on path. You're not guessing what you eat. Oh, I think I'm eating this, or I think I'm eating that. You can track your food and do that. That is one way. And if you're extreme like myself, I have a scale at me at all times. Right here, I weigh my food, so I know exactly how many calories I'm getting. Me tracking my food is going to help me make sure I'm not eating over. And the same goes for you. If you're a guy trying to gain weight, you don't necessarily have to track, like weigh your food. That's a little extreme, but you definitely want to be able to track it, because humans are very bad at estimating things. And there's been studies that's shown that humans are bad at estimating. And if you want to get good at anything, it's always to track performance. You have to track your calories, or you can have a meal plan that's already been tracked, that like, okay, you eat these foods every day. I've already put in the numbers. It's going to be the calories that you need to be over, which will usually look like 4 meals. It'll be half the plate is carbs, good carbs like potatoes, rice, quarter will be protein, another quarter will be veggies. You eat like 4 of those a day, and then like 2 snacks in between, and 2 healthy snacks, 2 snacks that is loaded with protein and carb and low in fat. Because when you're bulking and you're eating fried food and a lot of fatty food, that's when you're going to gain the super excess calories. We're going to gain the fat. So you want it to be the protein to rebuild the muscle from when you're training, then the carbs to supply you with an immense amount of energy, and then lower fat. When you're eating these foods, you need to understand that your meals are different for different days. You have your hard training. When you start getting into conditioning, you're lifting and running, that's going to be a different day you're eating than when you're resting. You're off, because you're burning way more calories on the days that you're lifting and running. If you're lifting and running, you're going to eat way more food, and then on top of that, the caloric surplus of you just to even gain weight. You're going to eat a lot of food compared to your off day, where if you eat the same amount of food on the days you train, on your off day, it's going to be super high in the caloric surplus. That's when you get into where you start gaining that fat. You want to gain the good weight. You want to gain muscle. So be aware of that. You have to adjust that slightly on different days. On your light days, your off days, your moderate days, your hard days. It's all different. There isn't a one-size-fit-all nutrition plan. If you're really serious about gaining the weight you want to, you have to tailor it. And also same thing. You can't eat the same meal you ate on your off day on your heavy days. Because then now, you're like, man, like I ate this on my off day while I'm eating on my heavy training day. No, because you're not giving your body enough energy to not only train hard, but to gain the weight. So now your body's going to just burn the calories that it has inside of you, which is your muscle and your fat. So you don't want that. So you need to make sure that you're adjusting in the caloric surplus each day depending on the day in the proper range. And the next thing is, when now you got your nutrition right, which is the number one thing you need. It's the number one thing you need to gain or lose weight. Everything else is irrelevant. Can't outwork a bad diet. 2, you need to lift. You need to be focusing on strength training and hypertrophy training. And you're going to be lifting a lot. You're going to have to be able to do a lot of supersets, a lot of cluster sets, stuff like that really get the blood flowing. In strength training, where you're breaking down the muscle. Strength training, where you're hitting on 2 to 5 to 6 rep range at a high weight, is going to break down the muscle, get the strength. And on top of that, the hypertrophy workouts, like the accessory workouts, like the curl, the tricep extensions, you're going to be supersetting those to really get a lot of blood flow. And that's the one thing you're going to focus on to really get bigger. After you break down the muscles, now we got to recover at an elite level. Because when you're trying to gain this muscle, you're going to have to lift a little bit more. And the thing about the body is a thing called overtraining. In order to avoid overtraining, you're going to have to recover at an elite level. You're going to have to get good sleep. You're going to have to take good supplements, to hydrate and drink a lot of water. You got to get in the hot tub, the cold tub. You got to eat. You got to focus on your nutrition. You got to foam roll. All these things are going to help you recover, because you're going to do a lot of lifting. You're going to be lifting a lot more than somebody who's not gaining weight, but you need to get bigger. So in order to be able to lift more and put in more work and see more results, you got to recover at an elite level. And going back to the overtraining is, if you're not recovering at an elite level, you're going to overtrain, and that's when your performance is going to go down. You're not gonna get no gains. You're gonna be like, man, like, why am I not getting no bigger? Why my muscles not growing? Well, you're breaking your muscles down, but reaching a point of diminishing returns where it's just not getting nothing out of it. So recovery is especially important. You're trying to gain weight and get bigger and gain size. You gotta train, you gotta strength train, hypertrophy train at least 5 days a week. 5 days a week, you gotta recover crazy. And the number one supplement that's been researched the most, that's been proven the most to guarantee to gain you size if you use it and boost your performance, is creatine. Now, I took creatine plenty of times. I believe it is one of the best supplements out there. Creatine monohydrate, that's what you want to take. And you you take about 5 milligrams to 10 milligrams, depending on how big you are. I just take about 5 milligrams a day, but you want to take that. But there has been proven you can do a loading phase, which shows even to get bigger faster and even more performance. And the loading phase is instead of taking 5 milligrams, which is about the scoop, you're going to be taking like 4 scoops of that, so 20 milligrams, but for like a week. You're going to be loading a lot of creatine, then you're going to get off it after that week. Now, I've never tried that. They have definitely shown that it is proven that if you do loading, you get better results or faster results rather than just taking a 5 milligram of small doses each day. Other supplements you can take, but it's not the same effect. They're just kind of to help recover your body better. Certain supplements you can look into that too. But one thing I say is, man, don't take no mass gain. Don't take no mass unless you need it. Unless you freaking 80 pounds in high school and you're 6 foot. Don't take no mass gain because that stuff's gonna make you fat as hell, bro. Like, I don't know if you ever looked at the back of them mass gainer shake. One cup is like 1,000 calories, man, and they got like 600 grams to 500 grams of carbs. That on top of the meals you're gonna be eating, you don't need that. I'd rather you get it naturally from foods and getting it from, like I said, from actual carbs, like real carbs, like rice, potatoes, pasta, stuff like that, than taking a mass gainer. Like I said, that's gonna make fat as if you take it long enough. And also, when you're taking supplements, definitely look at through the NSF to see if that supplement's qualified. You do not want to take no illegal supplement that can either hasn't been tested or it is legal and now you're taking a banned substance and now you're banned and now your career is over with or whatever. You don't want to do that. So make sure that your supplement is qualified. Talk to your trainers, talk to your coaches, or just look it up online and it will show if it's NSF qualified. Be aware of that when you're picking out supplements to gain weight and get bigger. But right here is the plan for you. And I'm sorry, it wasn't really no super tricks or nothing magical. You're like, man, like, was there a certain thing you did? Did you take treatment? Like, no, I'm sorry. This is what you're gonna have to do. You're gonna have to eat in a caloric surplus every day. You're gonna have to strength train and lift crazy. You're gonna have to recover crazy. And on top of that, you take supplements to help. And you have to do that for months. Every day, you cannot miss a day. Because if you're going 5 days hard a week and then 2 days you're bullshitting and you're slacking, you're never gonna gain a weight. You're never gonna reach that pound or half a pound you need to gain a week. It's never gonna happen. You have to be consistent every day and understand it's a process. Don't look at the end goal so much. Understand the process. Be curious about the process. If you focus on the end product too long, you're just gonna fall off and be inconsistent. You're never gonna get the results. Here is how you're gonna gain the weight you need to gain this offseason. For a guy who's looking to gain half a pound or pound a week and you do that for 30 weeks, going into the season, you're gonna gain 15 pounds of muscle, of pure muscle, not fat. You're gonna be just as fast as you are, probably faster. Other than gaining weight fast and getting fat as and being slow and getting your body's not used to carrying that much weight, not of muscle. And obviously, you gaining weight with muscle, you gotta be tricky too, because you still can get hurt, injured, because your body's just not used to having that weight. So definitely take these tips into account for you to gain weight. It is proven this will work. You have to trust the process, believe, be patient. And if you have any questions, definitely shoot us a DM on desireLess or comment down below, and we can help you out with that. And if you're interested in not only just gaining the weight, but just becoming truly elite and dominating at your position, becoming the athlete you always dreamed of, becoming a freak of nature, you definitely sign up, have your parents look our free athlete analysis. We'll see if we can help you and tailor a game plan to make you an elite D1 athlete, hit all your goals. I was a guy in high school who didn't even start, barely played, and still became a D1 athlete because I followed a system that we can create for you to help you truly dominate the game at a deeper level than you can ever imagine. So if you're interested in that, have your parents book a call. Unless you're 18 or above, you can book that yourself. Without further ado, before we leave, subscribe to the channel. And like I said, if you want tips every day and really have more insight outside of these videos, join our email list. This is your guy KJ, man. I'm gonna see you guys later.